Hey everybody, it's Will. Get ready to head out on a hike here. Long overdue hike actually. Today I'm going to be doing or trying to do a 5-mile hike. It's a circuit hike. It's another hike that I got out of the a book that I bought that was made by the Potomac Appalachian Trail Club. This one is for Sunset Rocks. And what's going to make it interesting is that even though it's a short hike, it passes by a lot of interesting things like Camp Michaux, which is an old World War II POW camp. And then we'll be hiking past the halfway point of the Appalachian Trail, and then I'll be hitting Tom's shelters along the Appalachian Trail, and then there towards the end of the hike I'll be hiking up to the Sunset Rocks, which is what the circuit's named after, and hiking up to the top of those, and then back down here to my car. I'm starting off right outside of Pine Grove Furnace, at the very end of the old Shippensburg Road. I'm kind of holding off starting my hike right now, because there's a huge line of thunderstorms getting ready to come through here. So I'm going to kind of wait them out in the car, and before I start off. That way I don't have to contend with those. The only other thing I did want to kind of note right now is I'm starting this hike a lot later in the day than I usually like to start my hikes. It's actually 3:30 now, but it's been raining all morning, and I've been kind of sitting around the house waiting for the rain to quit so I could get out here and try to at least get a hike in. I did bring my rain gear just in case I do get rained on, but in the meantime, while I'm waiting for the storm, I'm just gonna chill out here and enjoy this great stream that's running through here, and then we'll continue on. Alright, I believe the storm has passed, so I'm going to actually get started on this hike now. So, according to the directions, I'm heading in this direction. I'm going to follow some blue blazes until I believe I hit the Appalachian Trail. I'll double check the directions here in a second. But I'm just glad to be starting finally. Although it is going to be a wet, sloppy mess because of all the rain that we've gotten in the last couple days. I'm walking through water right now. Alright, after a really short walk, I did come up across the Appalachian Trail. I'm going to cross this footbridge here and then continue on up. I believe the trail does hit a road at some point, and then kind of follow the road. It's definitely clearing up. The sun's coming out. If it stays like this, it won't be bad. Just be a little sloppy. But I'm just glad it's not pouring. Not long into the hike, the Appalachian Trail comes out and meets this gravel road. This is I believe it's called Bunker Road. So we're gonna follow this until the Appalachian Trail splits off of it again, and we'll just stay on the AT. I believe the general plan is just to follow the Appalachian Trail until we hit the Tom's Run shelter. Now this hike doesn't have a lot of elevation gain, but it does have some, and we're starting to get up. We can break through and see some of the other ridge lines along here. I'm going to continue up the trail here, and I believe we're going to end up at our first point of interest for the hike. So we should be coming up on that soon. One of the big temptations when you're when you're hiking on something like the Appalachian Trail is you kind of get, if you're not careful, you get in like a tunnel vision mode where you're just kind of looking where your feet are going down at the ground. And while that is important, you need to kind of keep your eyes up and scanning as well, especially this time of year. It's springtime. That means it's in this part of the country that bears and stuff, or black bears, are up and about, and you don't want to come across one of those and startle them. The other thing is this is rattlesnake country, so when you're crossing logs and things like that, take extra care and look at the back side of the log you're about ready to put your foot over and make sure nothing's there, because there again, you don't want to surprise one of those either. They won't necessarily come after you. They actually want to do the opposite. They want to get away. So if you do come across one, just kind of back off, give it some space. It'll move or go around it, one of the two. You just don't want to corner them. Alright, I came up across the one of the first areas of interest on this hike. This is the remnants of a barn wall. It's believed that this barn was actually built by Hessian soldiers that were captured during the Revolutionary War. So this is it's pretty old ruins right here. This dates clean back to the Revolutionary War. Since then, this area has been known as Camp Michaux. I don't know a lot of the history of it in specifics. I do know that it started out as a CCC camp, Civilian Conservation Corps camp, and then during World War II, and I'll walk on down into that actual area, but during World War II down here, the camp was converted into a POW camp, and Japanese and German officers, I believe, were taken there to be interrogated. It was, from what I understand, it was a pretty secret POW camp. Nobody really knew it was there, even people that lived in the area. So, and then I think after the war, the POW camp obviously was shut down, and that area then turned into I think it was a church camp, and it remained a church camp until I think the 1970s. So we'll walk down there and check it out. In the meantime, I think I'm going to walk around and check out this the remnants of this Revolutionary era barn. So. Okay, made it down to the site of the old POW camp. I am going to walk down into the camp itself here for a little bit. I'm not going to go too far into there. I just kind of want to check out some of the ruins of the old camp buildings and stuff. So we'll hike in there. There's some right here by the entrance. Right here you can see some ruins from some of the old outbuildings and stuff of the POW camp, and I guess the church camp that was here since. So we'll walk down the trail here and check it out. There is a self-guided tour for this area, and there's posts with numbers on them. I'll see if I can't find the link for the self-guided tour and put that down in the description for this video. And that should contain more information about the better information I'm able to provide on the POW camp itself. But I think it's the coolest part of this area is the old fountain here. I'm not sure if it was here while it was a POW camp, or if it was put in later as a church camp, but I think it's pretty cool. It's still in pretty good condition considering it's just been sitting out here unattended for all these years. Okay, I'm going to head out of the POW camp here and get back out on the road and then back to the Appalachian Trail so I can continue the hike here. You could spend quite a bit of time just kind of going over all the ruins here in the old POW camp, and it's definitely worth a visit. And it definitely would probably take up a good afternoon if you really wanted to delve into, like I said, the self-guided tour and all the details. Okay, I'm coming back off the Michaux Road and getting back on the Appalachian Trail to continue our way to, or my way, to the Tom's Run shelters, and then onward to the Sunset Rocks. And if I remember correctly, in between here and the shelters, there's another interesting stop we're going to make. Still hiking on the Appalachian Trail. I just thought I'd stop and kind of point this out. This is pretty neat. Ferns as far as you can see going up over the hill. You can't even see the ground through them, so that's pretty neat. Okay, in the summertime and fall, this section of trail is great because it's dry and really wide. But right now, I'm basically walking down a stream, mucking water and mud and you name it. So I keep crossing until I hit these little dry runs. I can walk for a while and then they end and I have to walk through the water to get to another one. All I can say is I'm glad my boots are waterproof and I'm wearing old pants because I'm going to be a mess by the time I get back to the car. Okay, taking another quick stop. This one happens to be another point of interest here on the hike. I'm at the halfway point of the Appalachian Trail. Equal distances either way to hit both the north and the south ends of the trail. It's exactly 1,090.5 feet, or miles, excuse me. It has this nice little placard on the box here, and then they have a nice mailbox with the logbook and things like that in it, so you can sign the logbook, which is a good habit to get into. I've mentioned it in other videos. If you're hiking along the Appalachian Trail, sign the logbooks. If something does happen to you, at least that'll give them a point of reference to go off of when they start looking for you. But it's pretty cool, halfway. Okay, I'm continuing down the Appalachian Trail. It's still in this wide section. I can hear I believe it's Tom's Run beside me, and I know I'm going to have to cross it at some point. So that should be interesting because it should be, yeah, I can see it now. It's running pretty good. So I'll have to cross that and continue on to the shelters, and then start cutting up towards the Sunset Rocks. Okay, I just came through the Tom's Run shelters. I would have liked to stop, but I didn't want it. There's several groups kind of setting up for the evening, and I didn't want to disturb them, so I kind of pushed on past it. Basically, you walk past, you go through past the shelter area, you cross the stream on a footbridge, and then you come up to this point here, where the Sunset Rocks Trails goes. So I'm going to follow this. I'm at the furthest point of my hike, so the circuit is going to start going back towards my vehicle by way of the Sunset Rocks. So at this point, we're leaving the white blazes of the Appalachian Trail behind, and we'll start following the blue blazes. I'm sure the trail's not going to be as wide or as groomed, but maybe it won't be as wet either. So we'll see. I've been walking in water for probably the last hour, so hopefully this part of the trail will be a little better. One thing you have to watch for on this section of the trail is you really have to keep your eyes peeled for the blazes. They're pretty worn. They're hard to see, especially now that everything's greening up. This mark on this tree is not too bad to see, but the other ones are pretty difficult to spot at times. So kind of going along with what I was talking about earlier about don't kind of zone out and just look at what's in front of your feet. You know, keep your eyes scanning up as well, so you can spot those blazes and make sure you're not getting sidetracked. One thing I do like about this hike is the wide variance of terrain in just such a short distance. So you could go from rocky to swamp-covered roads to swamp areas to fern-colored forest floors, you know, all within a mile or so of each other, and then right back again to rocky. So it is pretty neat. I have to say that. I did notice that looks like on parts of this trail there are some mountain bikers that utilize it. I can tell that just from the tracks. And I think the next part of the hike entails joining back up with the Michaux Road and following it for a piece, and then cutting back onto the blue blazes again. So I can kind of peek the road through the trees there, so we're getting closer to that point of the hike. And as I said, just came out of a rocky area, and now I'm into the fern-covered forest area again. It's pretty cool. As you come off the Michaux Road, or follow the Michaux Road, you have to really keep your eyes peeled for these, where you cut back in on the trail here. Although they did blaze it pretty well, you just have to kind of keep an eye out and look for the double blaze, letting you know that there's a turn. Getting in an area here where it's kind of dark, and got some private cabins back in this area. So right now we're just I'm just making my way to the actual Sunset Rocks overlook, and then from there it shouldn't be a very long stint at all to get back to the car. I think it's pretty much straight down the mountain from there. So the other part is we'll be starting to hit a lot more boulders and have to clamber over them going up. Just kind of got to keep an eye out for snakes as you do that, if you ever come up this way. Making my way up, I want to call it a hill. It's not really a mountain, I don't think. Maybe it is part of a mountain. But the ridge that has the Sunset Rocks on, I'm not sure if these are the Sunset Rocks or if they're going up the trail there, so I'm going to keep going here after a brief pause just to check out the view and just to check it out here. Although I will say this is a kind of a pretty good cliff. I don't know if you can see that down there. It is pretty neat here. So maybe these are the Sunset Rocks. When you hit the ridge for the Sunset Rocks, just kind of be careful. It does get pretty rocky. That's the way I'm going. Came up through this set of boulders here, so you really got to watch your step. Okay, there's true rock climbing involved. I had to just climb up that. Not so much, not a lot of fun when the lichens up here are pretty slick. So you come up here when it's wet, be very, very careful. And I have yet that to climb. Okay, I think what I thought earlier was Sunset Rocks. I was mistaken. These have to be it. I shouldn't say half, but they must. I'd be surprised if they weren't. You really have to clamber up over these rocks. And literally you have to make sure you're, just like rock climbing, you have 3 points of contact the whole way up. It's pretty sketchy. But when you get up here, you end up on this rock right here. And I'll show you the view and down over to the other side here in a second. But I think at this point I'm about 3/4 of a mile from the car. But the view up here is great. Here's the trail and the rock I'm on. Show you down over the edge. And then the view. Great view from here. Just another view of what it's like up here on the top of the ridge. That's where I came from. That's what I have to go down. So I probably would not recommend this hike for if you plan on taking any dogs or small kids. It's just too rough. Still clambering over these boulders. I think I'm at the highest point I can be here right now. Like I said, a lot of this is true rock climbing, 3 points of contact. I had to put my hiking poles back because they were becoming a major hindrance. But the stuff I had to climb is pretty steep. I'll shoot a couple little short video clips so you can see just how steep and rugged it is. But it's still fun. It's just took me by surprise, that's for sure. Okay, I was wrong both times earlier. This is the true Sunset Rocks. I verified it with the map this time to be sure. That was a rough hike. So I think I'm going to crawl over on these and check out the view a while. And then I'll backtrack a little bit and then head down to the car. And I got maybe another hour of sunlight left. So I should have plenty of time unless the hiking is like what I just went through. But I don't think it is. So I'll hang out here for just a little bit and then backtrack out. This is the view from Sunset Rocks. They're real sunset rocks. Okay, I'm descending from Sunset Rocks now. I think I'm getting pretty close to the car because I can hear the stream just beyond the this little ridge here. I would have filmed a lot more, but I actually needed to use my hands and my poles to just to make the descent and the climb across the top of that ridge. I'll tell you what, that surprised me. It's not too often I get surprised like that. That surprised me. It was a little scary, but a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I am wearing a GoPro. Unfortunately, both batteries that I have on me both died on me during the hike. So I may have to come back sometime just to do that ridge with this camera, just so you can see, so people can see how it is. Like I said, a little scary, but a lot of fun too. So just make my way back to the car, and then we'll wrap this hike up. Yeah, I'm back to the bridge where I first crossed from when I initially started from a car there. I think I'm going to kind of wrap the hike up here. For a short 5-mile hike, this is I think definitely a fun one. Would have been a little bit better if it had been drier, but what can I say? It rained all day yesterday and all this morning, and then downpoured right before I started. So I can't really complain too much. At least the streams are up pretty good. I will say, like I had said earlier, going across that ridge there, that took me by surprise. It was really, really rugged. And as I said earlier, if you have small kids, or you're hiking with a dog or anything like that, or you have any kind of medical issues that really limit your mobility, I wouldn't recommend this hike. You need all 4 limbs operating just to make it over those rocks. Because there's times where you're literally hanging on, and it's a pretty good drop if you happen to have a misstep or a slip. So you know, keep those things in mind if you happen to decide to do this hike. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.